Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Chris with Inside the U. Thanks for stopping by. As you can see, I'm here in Nixa, Missouri. Had a chance to watch Miami commit Jackson Cantwell, a 5-star recruit, top 10 consensus player in the country, in action tonight for Nixa as they improved to 5-0 and a 49-14 win over Lebanon, and really just ran away from it. Jackson only played the first half along with the starters. They compiled a big lead. I'll get into the game, but first off, just being here for the day. Got here early, worked on a lot of content throughout the day. I just want to shout out to Nixa, the football operations staff with Dustin Martin. Shout out to him, showing me around, Coach Perry, the entire staff. Everybody was great here. Really helped me out to be able to get the content, and it's just a great facility here. You'll get a chance to see it in the content, so follow the channel. I definitely have highlights on Jackson, but also here in Nixa. You know, a great stadium, completely, prove themselves as they have all season long, as they've been doing. But yeah, they're a Class 6A state contender. They lost the state championship game last year, but 5-0 right now, and really doing a good job running the ball and whatnot. But again, shout out to the staff. It was great. And also Jackson. It was great spending some time with him and getting to know him a little bit more from what I knew before. And I just want to kind of point out a few things that stood out to me. And, the big thing is just, watching him play, there's just a real professional approach to his game. And I mean that he even with whatever the score was, every rep, he was into it. He was involved. He was working on, it really stayed engaged in every play. He's flattening players that he's bigger than and better than, but he just kind of continued, rep after rep. He kind of just continued the work. And, so that was great to see, watching him go through it. And just kind of talking to people and kind of learning more about him. This guy's a really intelligent player, and it's not just his physical attributes. Look, he's listed at 6'7", 6'8". He's all of that. Seeing him in person, and his weight is great as well. So it was just really impressive of watching him play, and just kind of the way he goes about it. And really, this is a little bit surprising. The second half was enjoyable for me to watch as well, even though he was not on the field. And I say that because he was doing a great job coaching his teammates up. Look, and he was encouraging guys on the sideline when they were in the game, when the offense would come out on the field. As we see a lot of the times in high school games, they have a video board, they're looking at the previous highlights, and they're all huddled around, sitting in chairs. But, with the second unit up there, Jackson's kind of leading the way and pointing out things that he sees and really trying to help guys and, really rooting them on and maybe do this and do that, things that he notices and sees. And I just thought that was great. Somebody else who enjoyed watching Jackson play tonight was Miami offensive line coach Alex Mirabal, who was here on the sideline, and I thought it was great, Coach Mirabal being here. And he was here the entire game, and Jackson really appreciated that. So that was good to see, and even on the scoreboard, they welcomed him in. So certainly great to see Coach Mirabal in action here, or being here to watch the action. Just great to see, and certainly they understand the importance of still landing, signing Jackson and still recruiting him. They got a great connection. So, it made sense when you hear Jackson talk, and I'm going to post stuff about what Jackson had to say, certainly. So definitely follow the website, follow the channel for more content on Jackson from this game, as well as some other stuff that I was working on as well. So in addition to watching him play, and the physical tools do stand out, good footwork. I thought he did a good job. This is a team that runs the ball quite a bit, really pounds the ground, and really works on that run game, and that's what's made them so successful. But I thought he did good in pass protection as well, and it's an area he wanted to work on, and I thought he did pretty good from what I saw the times they did throw the ball. But another thing that stands out, I definitely want to pass this along, because I think it was important, again, just seeing him be a good teammate, seeing him play well in the game, but also hearing about his intelligence as a player. And look, when I talked to head coach John Perry about him, that was one of the things that stood out. And he said, frankly, he wouldn't be surprised if Jackson knows Miami's playbook right now better than some of Miami's starters. Just because, again, that's just pumping his guy up in terms of the intelligence. He really knows offensive line stuff. He really understands football. Just seems like a guy, when I talk to him, and everybody else, the way they talk about him, a guy that really is invested in being a hard worker and really understanding the game as much as possible from whoever he can get it from. So I thought that was great. Again, hearing that, seeing it, kind of seeing it in action, again, listening to some of the things he was saying to his teammates, it doesn't surprise me to hear Coach Perry say something like that, because, you know, again, I saw it at a much smaller scale, but I did see a little bit of that. He just really understands the game. He really enjoys watching Miami play this year, and, you know, he's excited to get back down there, back on campus, and watch the Hurricanes in action. So it was great seeing him again. I'm glad to be able to be out here. The environment was great, the weather was great, the game certainly turned out great for the Eagles. Just an overall great atmosphere and a really good, you know, just speaking of the atmosphere, I mean, great lights. They've got the red lights here because the team's red, so they kind of do some lighting stuff that they got going on. The band was great, crowd, student section was great. So just an overall really good atmosphere here, you know, in southern Missouri. So I was certainly really impressed and really impressed with the campus. And another thing about this campus, since I'm here and I'm looking at it right now, they've got a new indoor practice facility. Really impressive at the high school level. And, you know, you just don't see this very often. And it's here in Nixa, you know, perennial power, state power here in Missouri at the highest level. So we'll see how they do the rest of the year. They played some tough games early on, but 5-0, they're doing great. And I do want to shout out, too, some of the teammates that he has. I was impressed. Junior quarterback, Adam McKnight. I like what I saw on film. I like what I saw him out here as well. Also plays baseball and basketball. But a 2027 guy maybe to keep an eye on, you know, to kind of see how he develops. Running back, committed to Southern Illinois, senior, Jaden McCaster. You know, he's a guy that's averaging 175 rushing yards a game. Not the biggest back, but breakaway speed. Saw it in last week's game and saw it again tonight too. So good to see him get the end zone. He's having a big year as a senior, committed to SIU as of right now. The guys I definitely want to mention, another senior, kind of an athlete, defensive back, wide receiver. Because of how he played tonight with 2 picks, nearly returned 1 for a touchdown, and he's had big plays on both sides of the ball this season. SIU did offer him, and that's Randy Flint. I like his size, so maybe he's someone to kind of pay attention to as well, but shout out to him. And then also Hunter Jensen, a guy that plays on the offensive line and defensive line for Nixa, a senior. These guys are all trying to get their names out there as much as possible, just keep winning games. But it's certainly, I liked what I saw, and they've got good players on this team. There's certainly other guys as well. But that is going to wrap everything up for me. You know, the coaches, the team right now, it's a bye week, the Hurricanes. They do have they have had some practices on campus. They're going to do a weightlifting session on Friday. So they're just taking it easy, but they will, you know, obviously ramp back up into a regular game week, getting ready for Florida State next week. So there's that. Coaches also, they're busy recruiting. They're going to kind of continue throughout the weekend. Then they'll be back and they'll be back coaching as well, but kind of using this time to get out and see some recruits, and certainly hoping to flip some recruits, as well as making sure, as they did tonight, making sure they're taking care of the guys that are verbally committed to the program. But again, I want to thank everybody for watching. Definitely thank again everybody here at Nixa. It was great being here, with Jackson and talking with him and getting to know him a little bit more and watching him play. Definitely enjoyed it. Definitely stay tuned. As I mentioned, stay tuned to the channel. More content on the way. Stay tuned to InsideTheU.com. More content there as well from tonight's game. But thanks for watching. Have a good rest of the weekend. Thank you for subscribing, and take care.